compile a list of some of the do's and don'ts that you should do before and on the day of the exam that myself and my colleagues did back when we were taking our exam, and hopefully it helps you guys too. Welcome back to Nursing World. Here we'll uncover all the tips and tricks to jumpstart a successful nursing career. Everyone operates a little bit differently as far as how they want to approach the day before the exam. Some people continue to study up on topics they feel they are most likely going to forget. I was definitely one of those people. Other people work better when they have a more relaxed and stress-free type of day, such as going hiking, spa day, shopping, watch Netflix, etc. You get it. This is great too, because we all need proper self-care, especially since you've been drilling through NCLEX for such a long time. Majority of us are very stressed out, and we want to really have a clear mind when we're going into that exam. And a big one is sleeping early if you can. I talked about this in my previous video, tips and topics you must know before your NCLEX exam. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up and also in the description below, so you can check that out as well. In that video, I talked about how I managed to go through my Kaplan exam one sitting without feeling the need to really focus. My mind just focused by itself. I did not have to use any energy or effort to do so, and I managed to actually pass my exam 15 minutes before the rest of my peers did, which was awesome. Now, on the day of the exam, what you want to do is mainly focus on probably studying just some meds or labs, something simple, nothing too crazy. You don't want to overstress yourself. You just want enough where your mind is warmed up. For me, what I did was I went through some of the topics that I know I had a harder time remembering and making sure I just go through it one last time, just skim through as far as some of the most important bullet points I want to make sure I know of. Or if you really do not want to do any studying, what I really suggest is actually having some light workout, a light yoga type of exercise. This really helps to calm your nerves down, bring yourself some oxygen brain. If you're a coffee or caffeine drinker, do so on your test day. It really helps to sharpen your mind and makes you focus. And even if you're not a constant coffee or caffeine drinker, I still highly recommend drinking just a little bit of coffee on that day, just to help sharpen your mind and help you refocus. Let's be honest, most of the time, majority of us are very stressed out the night before. We're probably not able to get a good night rest.
Now, one thing I really want to emphasize is make sure you read your question twice. So what I do is the first time I will read my question in its entirety, and the second time I make sure to focus on keywords so that I do not misread the question and potentially get a wrong answer because I thought it was asking me something else.
Here are some of the don'ts that you do not want to do on the day before exam. Number one, you do not want to contact your peers. Most of your peers are going through the same experience as you are. So when the conversation starts, then it's just going to add to more stress-inducing conversations. Some people may even say, I finished all my question and I'm so nervous. What should I do? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you because I was definitely one of those people that did not finish my Q-Bank question, and I was definitely nervous when I was talking to some of my peers, so I do not recommend talking to your peers. Number two is do not study late into the night. It is very crucial that you get well rested the night before your exam. So you want to sleep in early if you can. Basically, a lower chance of slipping up, such as missing keywords or misreading questions. Something else you do not want to do is working out late in the night. Why? Because most likely you're going to be so awake that you'll not be able to have sleep. Here are some of the don'ts that you do not want to do on the day of exam. Number one is focusing on the number of questions you receive on the test. And I did this myself, but by all means, try your best not to do so and just keep focusing on the test and the question that you have on hand. I know this is tough because once you reach over the minimum amount, you don't know exactly how much longer until you finish. To give you a very good example, I had a friend who went through the NCLEX exam around the same time I did. So back then, she and I both used Uworld to prep for our NCLEX. On her end, she did the entire Q-Bank. For me, I did half of the Q-Bank. When we did our self-assessment, she managed to score in the 98th percentile. For me, I scored around the 78 to 80 percentile. Once the exam came in, guess how much question she did in comparison to I did? Yeah, she actually ended up with 130 questions versus me, I ended up about 77 questions. So this is a big contrast, and it's just a reminder that not focus on the number of questions. So this does not determine how much you know, and just keep focusing on the questions you have on hand. The next advice I have is do not focus too much on your surrounding. Usually as a nurse we want to do this, but on your exam day you actually do not want to do too much of this because it can induce more stress. Now, the reason I say this is because when you walk into that testing center, most of the time it is pretty nerve-wracking. Everybody there is going to take a very important exam of their lifetime, so most of them are very high stress, and you could feel the stress in the room. So just keep telling yourself you've been doing this for a while, you've been practicing and studying up on information. So today is just another regular exam day. Just keep trying to tell yourself that, and hopefully this helps to calm your nerves down. The most important thing is always try to bring yourself back to reality, and this tends to help a lot of people. Now, once you finish your exam, congrats, you finished your exam.
Now, post-exam, some of the things that people love doing is actually looking at the Pearson VUE trick to see if it works. Now, I highly do not recommend this because from personal experience, it is very inaccurate and I thought I failed my exam. So don't do it.
So what the Pearson VUE trick is, it is a trick to see whether you're able to register for exam a second time after you finish the exam. What people tend to do is they will input fake credit card information into the system to try and see whether they're able to register for exam another day. Now, of course, the credit card information you input is not going to go through. However, you're able to go through the next step. You're still able to continue with the registration process. That hints to the fact that you're able to register again. From personal story, there's definitely not an accurate way of determining whether you pass or fail the exam. Personally, I passed my exam with 77 questions, and I had a good feeling most likely I would pass just because of the questions and topics that were given to me, and I felt confident in my knowledge of those topics. Once I did the Pearson VUE trick, it led me to believe that I failed my exam, and therefore I was sad for the next 48 hours until I could finally see my result. Long story short, after the exam, what you want to do is just hang out with friends, do anything that gets your mind off the exam so that you're not thinking about the exam for the next 48 hours. Alright, I wish you all the best of luck on your NCLEX exam. I know it has been very stressful and high anxiety for the past 2 to 3 months for some of us. I always believe what is meant to happen will happen, so try to stay positive, whatever your result may be. As always, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and also subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every Monday, so stay tuned. Alright, until next time. Bye.